The twin suns burned high over the rusty trade town of Velros 9, a lonely place on the edge of the galaxy. Dust filled the air, and people from different planets walked the narrow streets. Human, alien, robot, all came here to sell, trade, or buy strange things. Some came for parts, others came for treasure. Ethan Gray was just a simple mechanic. He didn't come for treasure. He came for old junk he could fix and sell. His jacket was worn, his boots cracked, and his eyes always scanning for a good deal. He walked into a large metal dome, the auction house. Inside, bright lights shone on a stage where items were being sold. A metal table showed a broken jetpack. A small alien shouted the price. Ethan didn't care. He moved to the back. That's when he saw it, a spaceship. Old, damaged, covered in dust and vines. It looked like it hadn't flown in 100 years. The paint was peeling and one of the wings was cracked. People laughed at it. "That thing is junk," one alien said. "Who would buy that?" said another. But Ethan stepped closer. Something about the ship called to him. He couldn't explain it, but he felt drawn. It was like the ship was waiting, watching, breathing. A short auctioneer with 4 arms stood on the stage. Next item. Ancient vessel. Unknown origin. Power core empty. No records, no ID. Starting bid. 100 credits. Silence. Nobody raised their hand. Ethan felt his heart beat faster. 100 credits, he said, raising his hand. The crowd looked at him like he was crazy. Going once. Going twice? Sold! Everyone clapped, mocking him. But Ethan didn't care. He paid the credits and walked up to the ship. He touched the cold metal. Suddenly the ship lit up. Lights blinked. A soft hum started deep inside. What the? Then he heard it. A voice. Soft. Calm. Female. "Who awakens me?" Ethan stepped back. His heart raced. Was it the ship? A recording? He turned around, but no one else seemed to hear. You are not Yashani." "What? Who are you?" Ethan whispered. No answer. The door of the ship suddenly opened with a hiss. A ramp extended. The auctioneer looked confused. "That's never happened before," he muttered. Ethan took a breath and stepped inside. The inside was dark. Dust floated in the air. Vines had grown along the walls. Strange, glowing symbols covered the panels. It didn't look like any human ship. He turned, on his flashlight. The beam landed on a chair, clearly not made for humans, too tall, too thin. The controls were glowing faintly. He walked deeper. A strange hallway led to the back. That's when he saw it. A cryo chamber. A glass pod standing. Upright, covered in ice, inside it was a woman, but not human. She had glowing silver skin. Long white hair floated around her head. Her ears were pointed and her body was tall, elegant. Her eyes were closed. She looked peaceful. Sleeping. Ethan stepped closer. A symbol on the pod glowed bright blue. DNA match. Confirmed. Activation begins. What? Wait. No. But it was too late. The pod hissed. Steam filled the room. The ice melted fast. The woman's eyes opened slowly, glowing violet. She looked at Ethan. Then she smiled softly and spoke. "Husband." Ethan froze. What did she just say? She stepped out of the chamber slowly, her movements graceful like a dancer. I'm not your husband," Ethan stammered. She tilted her head. "You awakened me. You are chosen. We are now bonded." Ethan blinked. "Bonded? I just bought a ship." The woman placed her hand on his chest. "You didn't just buy a ship," she whispered. "You claimed a bride." Ethan stood frozen inside the strange alien ship. The tall, glowing woman with silver skin had just called him husband. He stared at her, trying to find the right words, but his mind was spinning. "I don't understand," he said slowly. "I just bought this ship, that's all." The alien woman stepped closer, her glowing violet eyes locked on his. This vessel was not for sale. It was waiting. For you. The bond is made. I am yours now. Ethan stepped back. Okay. Let's slow down. Who are you? She looked confused for a moment, then bowed her head slightly. My name is Lysera. I am Yashani, last of the Starlight Brides. I was placed in slumber by my people many cycles ago. My purpose is clear. I awaken only when my chosen arrives. Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. This was too much. Okay, Lysera. Look, I'm not some chosen one. I'm just a mechanic from Earth. I fix old junk and sell it. I didn't mean to wake you up. She tilted her head. The ship responded to your touch. Your DNA matched the ancient pattern. It means your blood carries the code of kindness. That made Ethan laugh, even if it was a little nervous. I don't even like people that much. But Lysera smiled gently. That's why you were chosen. You don't love many, but when you do, it's true. Suddenly the ship shook. The floor beneath them vibrated. What was that? Ethan asked, steadying himself. The lights flickered. The ship's voice came alive in a strange tone. Alert. External scans detected. Location compromised. Lysera's smile faded. They know I've awakened. Who? Ethan asked. The ones who hunted my kind. They will come. They will try to take me back, or kill us both. Ethan ran back toward the control room. He tapped buttons, but the systems were alien. Nothing looked familiar. Then Lysera joined him, her hands moving over the glowing panels. Like she had done it 1,000 times, the ship suddenly lifted off the ground on its own. Hey, what are you doing? Ethan shouted. We must fly, she said calmly. If we stay, they will come. But I'm not a pilot. You don't have to be. The ship knows me. And now, it knows you too. Ethan held on as the ship roared into the sky. Through the window, he saw the town getting smaller. The crowd below stared up in shock as the ancient ship, once thought broken, flew like lightning. He took a deep breath. I just wanted to buy spare parts. Now I'm in a flying alien ship with a space bride. Lysera looked at him softly. Would you prefer I return to sleep? Ethan paused. No, he said finally. I need time. They reached space and silence filled the cockpit. Stars stretched in every direction. Ethan sat down in the pilot's seat and looked at her. So you were sleeping here for how long? Almost 4,000 cycles. My people placed me here during the fall. All Starlight Brides were hidden across the stars. We were meant to bring peace if the galaxy ever needed it again. Ethan frowned. Peace? By marrying strangers? Lysera smiled. Not strangers. Chosen ones. Those whose hearts are pure. The ship would never open to someone cruel. He didn't answer. Deep down he wondered, was he really pure? Or just lucky? Before he could say more, a red light flashed on the console. Unknown vessel approaching, weapons locked. Lysera's eyes narrowed. They've already found us. The red light blinked fast. A warning. A threat. Ethan stared at it. Weapons locked? You mean someone's about to shoot us? Lysera nodded slowly, her silver hair glowing in the ship's soft blue lights. Yes, they are coming to take me. Or destroy us. Ethan stood. Who are they, Lysera? Why are they after you? She didn't answer right away. She walked to the front window, looking out at the growing dark shape in space. A sleek warship approached, black and sharp like a predator. My people, she said finally, were once rulers of stars, the Yashani Empire. Peaceful, wise, powerful. We healed, we grew, we loved. Ethan raised a brow. Then why were you hidden in a junkyard ship? She closed her eyes. Because peace makes enemies. The Yashani believed in connection. Mental, emotional. But others wanted control. They feared our gifts. So they came with fire and lies. A second screen lit up. The enemy ship was close now. Incoming transmission. Ethan pressed the button. A cruel, cold face appeared on the screen. Not human, not Yashani. Skin like cracked metal, eyes pure red, voice dry like sand. Return the bride. Or be turned to ash. Ethan blinked. No hello? No small talk? Lysra stepped forward, her voice calm but strong. I am no longer yours to command, the red-eyed alien sneered. You were made to serve. Your bond means nothing. Ethan's hands curled into fists. She's not going with you. The screen went black. Suddenly, the enemy ship fired. A glowing blast raced toward them. Ethan braced for impact, but the alien ship's shields flared and held. The old vessel wasn't so weak after all. Lysra turned to Ethan. You must go to the core room. It's below the main deck. Why? You carry the bond. Only you can unlock the ancient systems now. I will hold the controls here. Ethan didn't wait. He ran through the twisting hallways, past glowing walls covered in alien writing. He found a door marked with a strange symbol, half a star, half a heart. It slid open. Inside was a single glowing orb floating in the air. Blue lightning danced around it. He stepped closer. The ship spoke. Core interface, awaiting bonded command. Ethan reached out and touched it. The orb pulsed. The walls around him glowed. The ship began to hum, louder, stronger, back in the yaw. Cockpit. Lysra smiled. He has awakened the heart of the ship. Outside, the shields turned bright gold. Panels shifted. Cannons emerged. The ancient vessel, once broken and dead, now looked like a true warship. The enemy ship fired again. This time, the alien vessel responded, blasting beams of light, faster and stronger. The red-eyed enemy ship took a hit and pulled back. They were no longer the hunters. They were the hunted. Ethan returned to the cockpit, breathing hard. I don't know what I did, but I think I turned the ship into a beast. Lysra nodded. You connected. The ship accepted you. He looked at her. Why did your people make brides like you? She touched a glowing panel, revealing an image of ancient Yashani cities, full of light and peace. We believed emotions were stronger than weapons. So, we made the Starlight Brides, beings with power, but also deep empathy, each placed inside a vessel, sleeping, waiting for the one who could unlock their heart. Ethan shook his head. And that's me? A lonely mechanic from Earth? Lysra stepped close. You are more than you know. Your kindness woke me. Your heart gave power to this ship. That is strength no weapon can match. Ethan looked out the window. The enemy ship was limping away. We won this time, he said. But they'll be back. Yes, Lysra said. And we must be ready. Far away, in a dark command room, the red-eyed alien watched the screen. Activate the Seekers, he said coldly. The bride has chosen a human. We cannot allow this union. Stars drifted quietly outside the ship, but inside, Ethan's heart was racing. He had just unlocked ancient alien technology, fought off a deadly ship, and now stood beside a glowing alien woman who believed he was her destined partner. He walked into the lounge area of the ship, trying to calm down. It was quiet, too quiet. The soft hum of the engine was the only sound. Lysra followed, her bare feet silent on the smooth floor. You look troubled. Ethan sat down on one of the padded benches. Yeah, well, not every day you accidentally win an alien bride at a junkyard auction. Lysra tilted her head, amused. Do you regret it? He didn't answer right away. He looked at her. Her silver skin shimmered gently under the ship's lights, and her violet eyes watched him closely, not blinking. I don't regret saving you, he said slowly. I just don't know what I'm doing. She stepped closer. You don't have to know. The bond does not need perfection, only honesty. Ethan looked confused. This bond, what does it even mean? She sat beside him, her voice soft. In Yashani tradition, the bond is more than marriage. It is a connection, soul to soul. You accepted me when I was weak. You protected me when you had no reason to. That is the beginning. Ethan scratched his head. I didn't do much. You did enough, she whispered. Enough for the ship, enough for me. Later, Lysera showed Ethan how to use the ship's systems. With her help, he could now open doors, scan nearby planets, even speak with the ship's AI. She laughed when he pressed the wrong buttons and made the food replicator shoot soup across. The kitchen. You are learning, she said with a gentle smile. Ethan smiled back. Barely. They spent hours going through the ship, fixing what was broken, exploring hidden rooms, even discovering a secret garden chamber filled with glowing alien plants that responded to Lysera's touch. It didn't feel like a mission anymore. It felt like home. But the peace didn't last long. One night, while Ethan was asleep, Lysera stood alone in the garden chamber, her hand on a blue flower that pulsed with light. The ship's AI spoke softly. Emotional synchronization. 78%. Bond deepening, Lysera whispered. He is kind. More than I expected. Warning. Hostile signal approaching. Fast. Her eyes snapped open. The alarm blared. Ethan jumped out of bed and rushed to the cockpit, where Lysera was already scanning. Ship approached, this one faster, smaller, and darker than before. They are seekers, she said with a serious tone. Assassins, silent, deadly. They don't send messages? Ethan asked. No, she replied. They send death. The battle started before Ethan could blink. The seeker ship moved like lightning, blasting from strange angles. Ethan tried to help, but it was Lysera who controlled the ship's moves, dodging, returning fire, protecting him. At one point, a blast shook the ship hard, throwing Ethan across the room. Lysera ran to him, shielding him with her body as sparks rained down. He looked up at her. Why did you protect me like that? She touched his face gently. Because you matter. To me. To the bond. Something warm bloomed in Ethan's chest. With one last blast, Lysera disabled the Seeker's engines. The enemy ship spun into darkness, drifting. Ethan sat back in the pilot's seat, breathing hard. That was intense. Lysera looked at him with soft eyes. And yet, you stayed. Ethan met her gaze. You saved my life. You saved my heart, she said quietly. They didn't say anything more. But something had changed between them. Not just protector and protected. Not just mechanic and alien. Something deeper had begun. The ship drifted through quiet space, but peace was only an illusion. Ethan leaned over the control panel, watching the blinking red dots on the radar. 4 ships behind us now. Getting closer. Lysera stood beside him, eyes calm, voice steady. They're not giving up. Once the Seeker failed, the Dominion sent hunters. Hunters? Ethan's voice cracked. They sound worse. They are, she said simply. They chase until their target is ashes. The dashboard beeped again. Warning, incoming projectile detected. Ethan pulled a lever. Hold on. The ship dove down into a field of shattered moons. Giant chunks of rock spun in all directions. It was a maze of danger, but it was also their only chance. The first missile missed and hit a moon fragment. The explosion lit the sky, sending more debris into their path. Lysera moved quickly, her hands flying across the alien controls. I will guide the ship. You handle power balance. This will test your skill. I fix vending machines, not fly warships, Ethan shouted, but he didn't stop. He adjusted the energy flow just like she showed him. The engines roared louder. Behind them, the hunter ships followed, fast and silent. As they flew through the broken moons, Ethan started to see something strange. The ship wasn't just flying, it was dancing. Every move Lysera made was smooth and perfect, like she was one with the vessel. The ship responded to her thoughts. Even the walls pulsed with her heartbeat. He looked at her amazed. You've done this before. She nodded once. Long ago. But not with someone beside me. Suddenly, one of the hunter ships fired again. A massive beam cut across their path. Ethan shouted, "We're hit." Sparks flew. One of the rear wings was damaged. The ship shook and alarm screamed. Lysera didn't panic. She whispered softly, and the lights calmed. The ship's voice spoke. "Rerouting power to stabilizers. Emergency shield active." Ethan looked at her in shock. "How did you do that?" "The bond is stronger now," she said. "The ship listens to both of us." They burst out of the debris field and saw a bright blue planet ahead. Lysera pointed. "That world is unmarked. We can hide there and repair." "Let's go," Ethan shouted. As they entered the atmosphere, the ship glowed with heat. Clouds spun around them. Thunder crackled. The damaged wings strained. "Almost there." Ethan gritted his teeth. Finally, they broke through and landed hard in a thick jungle full of glowing trees. Smoke rose from the engine. The ship powered down slowly. They made it. Ethan stepped outside, his boots sinking into soft moss. The sky was purple. Strange bird-like creatures flew overhead. He turned and looked at the ship. "You're a lot more than scrap," he whispered. Behind him, Lysera stepped down the ramp, her silver skin shining under the alien sun. "This planet is alive with energy. We can heal the ship here," she said. "And what about us?" Ethan asked, almost without thinking. Lysera turned. Her expression softened. "Even bonds need time to grow." That night, while the ship repaired itself, Ethan and Lysera sat beside a glowing pond. Strange stars filled the sky. "I never asked," Ethan said quietly. "What happens if the bond fails?" Lysera looked up. "It doesn't fail. It simply fades. If hearts drift apart." Ethan stared at the water. "Do you think mine will fade?" She placed her hand over his. "No. Your heart is louder than you know. Even in silence, it speaks." They sat like that under the alien sky, unaware that high above them in orbit the Dominion was already sending something far worse. Something ancient, something that once hunted her kind into extinction. The jungle was quiet at dawn. Strange blue mist floated between trees and colorful plants pulsed with light as if breathing. Ethan stood near the ship, staring up at the stars, feeling the weight of it all. He had come to buy junk. Now, he was bonded to a powerful alien bride, hunted across the galaxy, hiding on a living planet and flying a ship that obeyed his thoughts. "None of this makes sense," he whispered to himself. Lysera walked beside him, her expression thoughtful. "The time has come, Ethan. You must learn the truth." He turned toward her. "Truth? I thought I knew everything." She shook her head. "You only know the surface. The ship you fly, the bond we share. It's part of something much older." They entered the core chamber again, where Ethan had first touched the glowing orb, but this time it pulsed brighter. The moment they stepped in, the ship's AI voice changed. Deeper, older, bond confirmed, accessing ancient Yishani memory archive. The room lit up around them. Holograms appeared, floating images from a long-lost era. Ethan saw golden towers in the clouds, Yishani ships flying in harmony, and thousands of starlight brides standing in glowing circles waiting for their chosen. "What is this?" he whispered. Lysera answered softly. "This is who we were." The images shifted again. Fire, explosions, screams. Dark ships covered the skies. The red-eyed Dominion army marched through peaceful cities. The Yishani, so focused on peace and emotion, were not ready for war. One by one, the brides were taken or destroyed. "We thought bonding with the pure-hearted would protect us," Lysera said. "But they hunted the brides. We had to hide. Sleep. Wait." Ethan watched as the last starlight bride, a silver figure, was sealed inside a ship and launched far into the stars. That bride was Lysera. Then the scene shifted again. A double helix DNA strands appeared. The AI spoke. "Only 1 in 10 million species carries the kindness gene. 1 in 10 million can bond with the Yishani core." Ethan's eyes widened. "So, I'm one of those 1 in 10 million people?" "You are," Lysera said gently. "That's why the ship woke. Why I woke. He sat down, overwhelmed. I fix engines and drink cheap coffee. Now I'm part of some ancient plan? Lysera knelt beside him. It was never about power or bloodlines. It was about heart. The Yushani believed that love, true, deep love, could heal galaxies. Ethan looked at her. Do you believe that? I didn't. Not at first. But now, I do. Suddenly the lights in the chamber turned red. Warning, massive power signature detected in orbit. Unknown Yushani prototype approaching. Lysera stood quickly. Her face went pale. No, she whispered. It can't be. What is it? Ethan asked, standing too. She turned to him slowly. The Dominion has found an ancient Yushani weapon, one that was lost during the war. A ship like mine, but corrupted. A bride who was twisted, forced to serve them. You mean, there's another bride up there? Ethan asked. Lysera nodded. Yes, but she no longer has a heart, only rage. The ship's AI flickered. Incoming message from Dominion vessel, transmitting now. The screen appeared. A dark figure stood there, a woman, Yushani like Lysera, but her silver skin was cracked like stone and her eyes glowed blood red. Her voice was cold and hollow. Hello, sister. Lysera stepped forward. Jera, you were lost. I was saved, the woman said. And now, I will save you, from your foolish bond, from your broken love. Ethan stepped beside Lysera. We're not giving up. Jera's eyes narrowed. Then I will burn that love to ash. The screen went black. Ethan turned to Lysera. What do we do? We fight, she said, but not with weapons, with what the Yushani forgot. She placed her hand on his chest. Hope. The sky above the jungle split open. A massive ship, the size of a city, descended from orbit, blocking the stars. Its body was dark like burnt metal, with red veins glowing through it. At the front stood Jera, the corrupted starlight bride, watching, with dead cold eyes. Inside Ethan's ship, alarm screamed. Dominion warship detected. Estimated power. Extreme. Shield match, 98%. Victory chance, 6%. Ethan tightened his grip on the controls. 6%? That's it? Lysera touched his shoulder. It's more than zero. He gave her a shaky smile. Then we'll take... Psh. Outside, Zara's voice echoed across the airwaves. You are not strong enough, Lysera. You bonded with weakness. With a human. Lysera stood tall, her silver skin glowing bright. I bonded with courage, with someone who chose love even when he was afraid. Jera snarled. Then you will fall together. Suddenly, energy beams shot down from her ship. Ethan yanked the controls, dodging left as the jungle below exploded into fire. Trees shattered. The ground shook. Shields down to 70%, the ship's AI warned. We can't outrun her, Ethan said. No, Lysera said softly. But we can outlove her. Ethan blinked. I'm sorry. What? She took his hands and placed them on the core orb again. Jera was corrupted because her bond was never completed. She was awakened by force, not by heart. But you and I, we are complete. If we fully merge our minds with the ship, we can awaken the final Yushani protocol. Ethan stared into her glowing violet eyes. What happens if we fail? Then, we fade, she said. Together. He nodded. Then let's do it. As they joined hands, the ship began to glow gold. The core pulsed faster. Their thoughts linked, one memory at a time. Ethan saw her dreams, her fear of waking up alone, her hope for peace. She saw his childhood, his loneliness, the moments he fixed broken things because he couldn't fix himself. And together, they became one heartbeat. The ship's voice changed. Final bond accepted. Activating Starlight Ascension. Above, Zara's warship charged its main weapon, but the golden light from Ethan and Lysera's ship exploded outward, blinding and pure. It wrapped around their ship like wings of light. The air shimmered. Time itself slowed. Jera fired. The eye blast struck the shield, but this time it shattered her own beam. The energy recoiled and slammed into her vessel. Her voice echoed in rage. What is this? Lysra spoke clearly now, her voice no longer just hers, but Ethan's too. We are bonded. And this is what love truly looks like. A beam of pure light burst from their ship, not made of fire but of feeling, warmth, connection, memory. It struck Zara's ship, and did not destroy it. It healed it. The red veins faded. The corrupted metal cracked. Zara's glowing red eyes blinked. For a moment, her true self returned, she whispered, "Sister." Then with a final sigh, her ship shut down and drifted quietly into space. Silence. Then stars returned. The jungle wind blew softly again. The danger was over. Later, Ethan and Lysra stood outside their ship. The golden light had faded, but something stronger remained between them. "She's gone," Ethan said quietly. "She is free," Lysra replied. "That is better." Ethan looked at her. "So, what now? Fly around and fight bad guys?" Lysra smiled. "No. We find others like us. Fix what is broken. Rebuild what was lost." He chuckled. "That sounds harder." She took his hand. "That's why I'm glad I'm not alone." As they walked back into the ship, the stars above blinked quietly, watching the human and his alien bride disappear into the night.